When you both first started making the show back in season 1, how much did you know about Bridgerton? Had you read the books or anything?
Zero.
Like
I knew nothing about it.
Yeah, no, I hadn't before being cast, and then kind of just dived into it from there. But yeah, honestly, I think when you get the sort of audition through and you see that it's Shondaland and Netflix working together, you know that you're in safe hands. You know that it's going to be something really exciting. But I think at the same time, you can't ever predict the scale and like response that we had in season 1. It really was mind blowing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was kind of nice to dive into that immediately as soon as we were cast, and you were cast earlier on, and then I joined.
Yeah, I was the first actor cast in the show, and I remember that because I was the first person they fit, and it was literally like you go into a production office and it's all the cast pictures on the wall, and mine was there on my own, and then the second one was Claudia, and then I was just like, I just wanted to know who Colin was, because I was like, if we get to that, because I read Colin and Penn's book first, but I was like, if we get to that, I want to know who I'm dealing with. Thankfully, he's great.
Clearly you two get along
Yeah.
very well, and I'm sure are friends. So you had an idea early on that at some point there was going to be
potentially. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you have no idea. It's so hard to tell people how much you don't know what you're making, especially a show like this, which is such a big cast with so many stories. Like for season 1, we didn't see what Phoebe and Reggae were shooting until we watched the show. They didn't see what we were shooting. We didn't know how it was going to be put together, and we overshot for season 1, so a lot of things didn't make it in, and because they were piecing it together, we didn't know we'd have like modern string music, all of that stuff. So yeah, we didn't know we'd get to ours, but then the response was insane, and then to be commissioned for 4 seasons after the first one, that's unprecedented. It was unbelievable. So, but then we knew what we were booked for, so we were like, oh, it will get to us, but that was quite wild, thinking this is definitely going to happen to us at some point.
Yeah, we've gone through different phases of like it being slightly overwhelming, being told that we were doing 4 and assuming that we were the 4th, and then getting the call and being like, we're bringing your story earlier and you're 3, so yeah, it was time to get ready for it. And just like,
So how do you get ready for something like that when you know that you're going to be so front and center of the plot?
Yeah.
Many different ways. We took it really seriously.
Yeah. We felt like we were really in it together in that, look, we completely committed.
Yeah.
And you kind of sacrifice like any sort of normality outside.
You don't have much of a life outside.
Friends or family, but then we've both had a moment where we've watched it back and been like, it was so worth it because we just gave everything, and it's the proof is there.
Definitely, I feel exactly the same. Like, I think, and there was a lot of like boring practical things. Like we both like made sure we were going to the gym a lot, so we had energy. We were like eating really healthy, going to bed early. I think for me, it's certainly been a lesson in how to, the way for me, I guess, to counteract imposter syndrome is like just work really hard and just put everything into it. So
we did have a conversation early days when we were like, we need to be able to like sustain this energy, like because we shoot for like 8 months, and I guess maybe out of those 8 months there were like 6 days or 7 days that we weren't there for, maybe
it's
maybe
very
slightly
little
more. So we knew that we just needed the stamina, so we were like, let's just get in the healthiest and like best place to be able to sustain this.
No, that sounds like an awful lot.
It's but the thing is, we do it because we love it. It's not, there's certain sacrifices you make, but also, we can look back on this season hopefully in like 20 years time and go, God, we gave it our all. And it's it'll be someone else's season next time. We can look back on ours and go, we did everything we wanted to do and it came out how we wanted it, which is an amazing feeling.
And ultimately we enjoyed it as well.
Absolutely.
Like,
we're like,
there are things we sacrificed, but then like
it was
being
worth
able
the
to lead a show
sacrifice.
like this is like one of the biggest privileges. So it's just
Definitely.
like, it's just balancing the two worlds.
Yeah, well, I imagine for actors, being the lead of something has got to be one of the goals.
Right.
When you get into the profession, maybe not so much being famous, but
no. No, that's just as a strange side effect of your job. No, well, it's really interesting. I actually, for me, I don't know that I ever really aspire. It's never interested me too much to be like the lead as the main thing. I just am drawn to the character. But this is such an interesting show, and it's like I was hired to play the interesting side character, then became the lead. Like that is such a rare thing. But even like I always use Grease as an example, because for me, like Sandy and Danny are the least interesting characters in Grease. It's like Rizzo, Kaniki, Frenchie, You know,
Yeah,
when I was
yeah.
a kid, I dressed up as Frenchie for Halloween because I was
Yeah.
like, Sandy's not exciting to me. So yeah, I've never thought that they're not always the best characters, but yeah, we had a privilege that
Yeah.
we got to turn
Do
into
that
them.
journey, yeah.
Yeah, well, I personally love both Colin and Penelope.
Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you.
Well, what do you love about them? Being able to play them?
I think it kind of touches on what we just talked about, is that they're not the typical romantic leads that we've previously seen. They're slightly awkward and funny and and sensitive and weird and to see those characters, you know, we've spent a lot of time standing at the side of a ball. We've spent a lot of time standing at the side of a ball watching the romantic leads dance, and now we have had the opportunity to do that and tell these two stories. So yeah, I think to see these characters highlighted was really fun, and like to play the truth of them from the start, you know, their sensitivities and their quirks and everything. Yeah,
I like that we're also allowed to like have them be flawed. You know, the obvious with Penelope about, you know, her making mistakes with Whistledown, and then, you know, with Colin, it's a much lesser crime, but like coming back and trying to be this slick dude, all this stuff, yeah.